I got into skateboarding because my stepbrother skated. I thought he was super cool.
There's my friend Cole Lombardo in like 6th grade.
I just did it because my older sister did it and I thought it was cool. And I did whatever she did.
And I was like, oh, I'm like looking for something to do. I didn't have that many friends to hang out with. You know, he said skating is something you can do by yourself. And it's a pretty fulfilling thing.
I personally skate alone a lot. But I have a really close group of friends that I met through skating. And so that's kind of my circle.
At the end of the day, you get better skating by skating with people.
When I was first starting, I think it's always terrifying to go to the skate park for the first time because there's a bunch of really good skaters and it's definitely, it feels like a sort of social scene that you're not a part of, that you have to step into. But once you're there and you just start talking to people and you start skating, it's always, people have been super nice and welcoming and hyped to teach you tricks or talk to you about skateboarding.
In my experience, generally skaters are very open-minded. There are some skate spaces where there's just not as many women that skate, and that's kind of unfortunate.
If Tony Hawk was a woman, I think skating culture would be different and there'd be more women.
I was friends with all boys when I was younger, and they were all super into skateboarding, and obviously I just wanted to be just like them. So I got into skateboarding, but I was the only girl to start skateboarding that I knew of, which was very intimidating.
There's definitely girls that show up at skate parks and they're a part of that community and they feel very welcome there. There might be more of a barrier to entry, I'll be honest about that, and frankly I can't really speak to that experience because I'm not a woman.
But also I feel skate culture and skate park has been a place where a lot of people go if they feel a little more on the outside of things. So I do think it's welcoming in that sense of you kind of nobody really cares about your identity, who you are. You can kind of just skate. So it is a good outlet.
Obviously skateboarding is an embodied practice. You are skating with your body and you're exerting yourself and stuff. Obviously just on a stress level, that's just good for you.
It's kind of like dancing in some ways. It's much more expressive than just playing a sport, because each trick is kind of you gotta come up with it. You gotta there's a style factor to it. There's a beauty to it, and yeah, I don't know, it's really cool in that sense.
You see some of these really creative skateboarders kind of transform the space around them with skating in some ways that an entry-level skater wouldn't really see. And that's really cool sometimes.
There's not a lot of places you can go to just exist and have fun without spending money. And I think skate culture reclaims spaces that are otherwise never really intended for recreation, like parking lots and curbs and handrails, and it makes community around it.
I would say you can view it as an art form. Skating is very individual. It's about everyone has their own style of skating, and that it's a way of expression for sure.
I also surf a lot, so there's a more surf skate style of skateboarding, which feels a lot more expressive than oh, I'm gonna learn the kickflip or something like that, because it's a lot more based on style and flow and vibe, so that definitely feels more expressive.
A lot of what are considered core skaters would argue that skating in its truest form can't be a competition.
It's easy to take skating too seriously, and when you take it too seriously, it just ruins it. You gotta just have fun with it. So yeah.
It's always been the thing that I go do when I'm overwhelmed, or go do when I'm anxious or stressed out or upset about something. it's a thing that like you can do it and you only think about doing that. You only think about skateboarding because you can't not have your whole brain into it while you're doing it. And so it's like a really great escape from all the other things that are going on in your life, which is really nice.
Every level of skateboarding is hard, and every level of skateboarding is gratifying.
If you're a young girl who wants to be a skater, frickin' do it.
It's just like really fun. I don't know. It's really challenging, but it does teach you like a lot of valuable lessons that I think are very applicable to just like life.
It's a beautiful thing.